Well, I took a day off, guys, but I'm here to talk about what happened on Sunday during the game. Now, before I get into things, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for the best Patriots content on YouTube. Let's get straight into things. I uploaded a few videos talking about what the Patriots had to do to win. And one of those was having a very persistent and solid run game. The yards were there, but they couldn't hold on to the ball. I think that counts as a not so solid run game. And honestly, I would have rather both Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris just have like 30 yards and no fumbles and no touchdowns because we would have won that game without the fumbles, even if the run game was not productive. So that was such a bad and unpredictable characteristic of the game for the running backs, two fumbles, and even Mac Jones, his first play, I think it was his first play with the fumble. Obviously, that was the one mistake he made in the game, and after that, it was lights out. But that was his rookie mistake, I guess we can say. But obviously, we recovered, so it's not going to be remembered probably. Whatever. If he would have lost that fumble, everybody would have lost their minds. Now, I will say this. Mac Jones, guys, did he not play above expectations or what? Because honestly, I didn't even expect him to play that good. It was absolutely incredible. Incredible. His deep passing Pro Football Focus grade was a 96 out of 100. Only second to Tom Brady, who had a 97, so a 1 point difference. He was lights out, even under pressure. I mean, we got to remember, guys, the reason this is so crazy because if a veteran did this, you wouldn't be losing your mind over it. But for a rookie in his first game against a really good defense, we've heard Patriots fans and Dolphins fans talk about how talented Miami is, especially with their pass rush and their defensive backs. They take the ball away. And Mac Jones managed to not cause any turnovers and also no throws into danger. He kept the ball safe and he would rather take a sack than an interception or a dangerous pass because he took one sack in the game. Yeah, only one sack. We heard all week about how Dolphins fans and Miami media was like, they're going to come after Mac Jones, they're going to destroy him. And it never happened. Where was it? We destroyed Tua. It was the opposite of what everybody said. And I knew that was going to be the case because our offensive line is so great. You can look back at my videos. I talked about that multiple times that our offensive line is going to hold their ground because our offensive line is better than their defensive line is. And that proved to be the case. Obviously proved to be the case. Mac Jones took some pressure, but under pressure he thrived. And you love to see it. He took one sack, like I said. It was a bad hit to the knee. You don't want to see that, obviously. It did get called for a penalty, which everything's a penalty these days when they hit the quarterback. Do I agree with that being a penalty? Absolutely not. Uh, I obviously was like clapping at the time. We got a first down, but like I don't agree with that. I don't like what are they supposed to do when they hit the quarterback, guys? It's getting to the point where like quarterbacks are just gonna all of them are gonna be throwing 5,000 yards, 60 touchdowns a year with the extra game, and then not being able to be hit. I mean, that is a huge part of the game, and I have no idea what the future of the NFL looks like in that aspect. I don't want to even get into it because it gets me a little bit depressed, actually. But yeah, Dolphins fans, if you're watching this, I'm on the same page that should not be a penalty. I guess according to the rule book, it makes sense because it is in the rule book, so it's not like there was some flag there that shouldn't have been there according to the rules. I just don't think the rule should be there. Anyway, that's my part on that. Mac Jones played amazing. One touchdown. You'd love to see them be a little bit more efficient in the red zone. The penalties is another thing I want to talk about because I already talked about the fumbles. I talked about Mac Jones playing really great. I mean, above expectations. And honestly, everybody was also talking about how Tua was going to be the better quarterback. That was absolutely not the case, by the way. Mac Jones was clearly the better quarterback out there, and clearly he was one of the better quarterbacks this week in the NFL in general. And also, he was the best rookie statistically, keeping the ball safe. None of the other guys. I mean, obviously Trey Lance. Like when you look at the stats, he had one pass and it was a touchdown. So obviously, according to the ratings, he's going to be the best one. Mac Jones consistently came out there. We asked him to do a lot. We placed all of our trust in him because we had him pass the ball 40 times. No mistakes, all accurate passes, many, many, many completions, many hard to make accurate passes. And I think everything we've thought about Mac Jones Sunday was proven true. Absolutely amazing. Let's talk about the penalties now. That's a little bit disappointing. We had a ton of penalties. Honestly, without the penalties, we would have won, even if we had the fumbles. And without the fumbles, even with the penalties, we would have won. So it was just a double whammy that was ultimately the thing that lost the game for us. You can ask anybody. I don't think there's anybody out there claiming that the Dolphins won the game. It was definitely a case of the Patriots losing the game. We completely shot ourselves in the foot, especially the Damian Harris fumble. The game should have been won that way. And if you ask me, absolutely, I think the Patriots outplayed the Dolphins overall in the game. Our passing game combined with the running efficiency minus the fumbles, which is what ended that, obviously, and then plus the defensive pass rush was able to attack Tua. There were some awesome hits. Josh Uche especially kind of pops off the stat sheet there. Did you guys see him right before halftime destroy that offensive lineman? I think he's obviously already getting a much bigger role in the defense. He played a lot more than we've seen him play last season, and he's thriving under it. I think we got a baller there. And I wonder where Chase Winovich fits in on this team at this point because of the fact that I don't really think there's a role for him on this defense. I mean, Josh Uche, I think, is more talented than Chase Winovich, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but Chase Winovich in the run is not as good. He's good in the pass rush, not in the run. So if he's fine with staying a situational player, we might keep him until his rookie contract is up. But if Josh Uche continues to thrive, if maybe we see Inferne Jennings or one of the other linebackers pop off and really come onto the defense as a pass rusher, I don't think there's a huge need for Chase Winovich unless he can switch to a defensive end position, which is definitely possible as well. So I don't know where it stands with Chase Winovich, but there's multiple options. The one thing I want to mention before we close out, remember when I said that, because if you watch all my videos, you know this, but if you don't, you can go back and find it, or you can just trust me. But I mentioned that a lot of teams that bring on a ton of free agents struggle in the beginning to work as a unit. And that's what I'm going to choose to blame the flags on. I really am. There was a few flags that really changed the game for us, and a lot of them were on some of the free agents. I think bringing on all those new faces, it's going to take a while for all of us to get on board and play a clean football style where there's not a lot of flags. The optimistic thing here, and there's a lot of things to be optimistic about. This obviously hurts as a loss, but it's one of those positive losses, if that makes sense. It's not one of those ones where it's like, oh, well, we just got dominated on every single part of football and there's nothing to be happy about. No, we pretty much did good on everything except for the fumbles and then the penalties. I mean, subtract those two things, and it was a great game by the Patriots. So, I mean, maybe red zone efficiency could have been better, but again, I think that's going to take pretty much all of our receivers right now, tight ends and wide receivers, are free agents that we brought on this season. It's going to take a while for this unit to work together as a great team. It takes time to build that identity, and I think with all these new faces, I mentioned before, it could take a few games, it could take half a season, it could take an entire season. I don't really know how long it's going to take. For the Browns, when they brought on all those free agents, it took a season. It did. So that is a possibility at this point. On talent, on the roster, we have what it takes, but that doesn't mean everything, and it's going to take these guys a while to get everything together. The one thing I also was thinking about when I was thinking about this specific topic I'm talking about now is we didn't sign these guys to 1-year contracts. You notice that? None of them are signed to 1-year contracts, I don't think. And if any, it's maybe one or two. A vast majority of these guys we brought onto 3, 4, and even 5-year contracts. And what that tells me is this isn't the year we're wanting to, obviously we'd love to make the Super Bowl. This isn't the year that this team is expecting to go in and win the Super Bowl, because let's be real, that's a long shot. That always was a long shot. Can they make the playoffs? If they play to their maximum ability, they can absolutely make the playoffs. Okay, this could be a 10 to 12 win team. It's just going to take a while for all these new faces to really mesh with the unit, and I think it just takes a while. Um, that's my thoughts. I really blame that specifically to get more dynamic with what caused the fumbles, with what caused the penalties. Obviously, Damian Harris has been a part of this system for a while, so the fumbles on him. But Ramondre Stevenson, a rookie, obviously that's a big loss for him because Bill Belichick hates fumbles. Whatever, whatever, whatever. The fumbles killed us, the penalties killed us, and the red zone could have been a little bit more efficient, but the defense played great, guys. A lot of people are trying to say, oh, the defense isn't as good as it was advertised as. We just held the Miami Dolphins, who, in my opinion, have a great receiving core. between their tight end Gesicki and then all the wide receivers talent they have, we held them to 17 points. Just because we only scored 16 and lost the game doesn't mean the defense played bad because the other offense scored more. Holding a team to 17 points in the NFL is good. I mean, almost great. Great would be like 10 points, but I mean, you're close at 17 points. Under 20 points is below average for an offense, and this is a good offense. I mean, Tua's good. Okay. The receivers are good. The running back seems good. The offensive line is the one weakness. They should have, they should be a good offense this year, and we held them to minimal amounts of points. I think the defense, yes, they're going to have to work together as a unit, just like the offense with the penalties and the fumbles, but I think they're a lot closer than the offense is. The offense is to blame for this game because of the fact that they were responsible for most of the penalties, and they were responsible for all of the fumbles. All right, that's my piece. Mac Jones had nothing to do with this loss. He took the blame. Great on him. Didn't keep the first touchdown ball. That's also pretty significant in my opinion. That's crazy. I would have definitely kept it, but I think that says a lot about where his mindset is. Very, very cool. There's a lot to be happy about, Patriots fans. Let's not freak out too much. We're going against the Jets. Hopefully, we can use this as a rebound game. A little bit less talented of opponents, but it's any given Sunday. So they got to bring their A game. They got to improve. They can't be fumbling and making all those penalties. But this could be a good opportunity for a rebound game because after that, we're heading into some more difficult games. So if we lose this upcoming game against the Jets, we could be in trouble for the beginning month of the season because, again, Saints played really good, and then obviously the Bucs played really good. That's our two next opponents after the Jets. So we have some tough games coming up. It's going to be a long, long process, guys, but this is year one of the rebuild. We got to hope that our Patriots can play better than they did last season, obviously. I think that's obviously evident already, but there's a lot to look forward to, not only this year, but over the next, 2, 3, 4 seasons. I think they're going to continue to improve as Mac Jones develops as a player. Obviously, he already has the tools available. Yeah, low ceiling, whatever. Tom Brady had a low ceiling. Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, they all had low ceilings, okay? Let's all chill about that. I hate that saying, low ceiling. What does that even mean? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for the best Patriots content on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video.